In my opinion, one of the brightest spots of David Lynch's 1984 adaptation of Frank Herbert's Dune is Kyle MacLachlan's performance as Paul Atreides. In his first role, that film really helped launch his distinguished career, and in the decades since its release, the actor has continued to showcase a particular fondness for the IP and a profound sense of appreciation for his part in it. His reverence for Dune is especially refreshing considering that a few of the other major players in previous attempts to adapt this film have infamously harbored much resentment and disdain for the property. Throughout the lead-up to Dune Part 1's release, MacLachlan continued to share his love for the Dune franchise and his excitement for this newest interpretation of the sci-fi epic. Being a part of the film that has since become a cult classic, beloved by many fans, as well as the fact that the actor himself is a big fan of Frank Herbert's novel, has caused many to hope that he'd be involved in some fashion in Dune Part 2. Which is why, in a recent interview with comicbook.com, Kyle was asked if he'd be open to a cameo in the upcoming sequel. The Atreides actor responded saying, "I think it's totally up to Denis and whatever he wants to do. I watched his film, it was great, I enjoyed it, had a tremendous sense of nostalgia to be honest watching some of the sequences and remembering stuff that I did with our cast in 1983. So it was a trip down memory lane for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and who knows what he's got up his sleeve." It's certainly exciting to know that MacLachlan would be willing to join the next film if asked. I sincerely hope that Villeneuve considers involving the beloved Dune actor in some way, even if it's just for a cameo. However, he is such a great actor I could easily see him in a more substantial role. I have stated in a previous lore video that I think it would be really interesting if MacLachlan were to be cast as Count Hasimir Fenring, trusted advisor and agent of the Padishah Emperor, but there are also many who think he'd be great as the Emperor Shaddam IV himself. That being said, if his involvement were intended to be purely for a cameo appearance, I think he'd fit in nicely as a member of the Imperial Court. Fans have been hoping for a cameo from Kyle as he's sort of become an ambassador for the Dune franchise. In anticipation of the first film's premiere, he continued to share his excitement and insights about the new adaptation, with a particular interest in seeing visionary filmmaker Denis Villeneuve's approach to this story and Timothée Chalamet's performance as Paul Atreides. Back in May of 2020, in an interview with comicbook.com, the prolific actor shared his initial thoughts regarding Dune Part 1, saying, "I am looking forward to seeing it. I think Denis is such a wonderful filmmaker. He's put together a really cool cast. I've loved the books since I first read them back in, I think I was 15, so like 1972-73. And I remain a fan, particularly of the first book. I think it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite book ever. I would read it every year. So I come at it from a different perspective than David, of course, and I think that the book is so rich and the relationships are so interesting and there are so many ways to interpret it. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does." While David Lynch notoriously has been burned from anything having to do with the Dune IP due to the complications filming his adaptation, Kyle has had a completely different outlook on the experience. Being a fan of the source material before even being cast as Paul Atreides clearly has made a difference in the actor's viewpoint and his continued avid interest in this newest interpretation. In October of 2021, he took to Instagram to geek out and share his support for Timothée and welcome him to the Dune fandom, saying, "I'm so excited for the new Dune movie, introducing Frank Herbert's novel to a new generation, and to see Timothée Chalamet walk without rhythm and become Muad'Dib." And after finally seeing the first film of Villeneuve's two-part adaptation, MacLachlan told ET he really enjoyed it, that he was smiling ear to ear, noting it was really fun and that he felt an overwhelming sense of nostalgia watching certain scenes. While I myself was watching the film, I noticed what appeared to be several nods to previous adaptations of this story, especially the hazmat-style suits of the Harkonnens bearing a strong resemblance to costumes seen in Lynch's film, as well as the Harkonnen spider, which many have pointed to as being a nod to the Tarantawolf from Jodorowsky's The Metabarons comic book. That's just to name a couple. So I don't feel it's too hard to see Villeneuve continuing to pay homage to what came before by bringing back a few more elements or even actors from the previous film or even the sci-fi miniseries. Another Dune actor I would love to see who gave what I thought was a standout performance in the Children of Dune miniseries is James McAvoy. While we certainly won't be seeing an on-screen depiction of his character anytime soon, I feel that a cameo from this actor would be really fun and a nice nod to that miniseries. It definitely has been a treat to hear Kyle MacLachlan's insights and appreciation for the source material, Lynch's film, and Villeneuve's newest production leading up to its release. He's also shared a lot of concerns that fans have held in regards to a new adaptation. In a previous interview with IndieWire, he shared his curiosity about Denis' two-film approach and wondered whether this film could do justice to Frank Herbert's story, saying, "I would lobby for 3 or more films because it has that kind of potential to really open up. In my imagination, I always thought it would be great to approach it like a Game of Thrones model, where you have seasons or at least a 10-part series or 12-part series. You could really go from beginning to end." He also has shared concerns for the film's financial success when it was revealed that Dune would be released in theaters and on HBO Max streaming service. The actor has continued to follow this production right along with the rest of the fandom with eager anticipation and concern for its success. MacLachlan has also consistently held a reverence and appreciation for the 1984 film and the franchise as a whole. In an interview with IndieWire, he shared his view of Lynch's Dune, saying, "My feelings about it evolve over time. I look at it as a flawed gem. It's stunning in so many ways. As a story, and trying to recreate that story, it's almost impossible. It's incredibly dense, and a little bit like a house of cards. If you leave out one element of the story or another, the structure tends to wobble, and you don't get the full effect." I definitely agree with his sentiments, and though I may have issues with Lynch's version of Dune, I do appreciate certain elements that were included that were omitted or left mysterious in Villeneuve's first film, making the 1984 adaptation special in its own way, a flawed gem. But even those who take issue with the cult classic tend to praise Kyle's performance, his charisma, his presence, and greatly appreciate how much he has championed a faithful adaptation of the intricate story of Dune. These are the primary reasons why I would love to see him at least for a cameo in Dune Part 2. But I'm curious to know what you think about Kyle's comments regarding Dune Part 2 and his willingness to join the cast of the sequel. What role would you like to see the actor play in this next installment? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.